multiple states that have been reporting violence owing to the Agnipath scheme, and pictures that are also coming in from different parts of the country. In Lakhisarai, also a stationary train, that is the coaches there that have been set ablaze, and similar scenes were also witnessed yesterday in Chhapra. Let me go across to Aditya right now. So in Lakhisarai, we are getting pictures of a train that has been set ablaze, Aditya.
Well, exactly. I mean, this is not the first train that has been set ablaze. Protesting aspirants of this, you can say, army or other services examinations. But that being said, the way this protest is unfolding, this is something that actually points the other way. Because as far as the government's stand is concerned, if at all you do see that government made some necessary amendments the last night, increasing the upper age limit for the first time and allowing those who were actually claiming to have lost their age due to the delay in recruitment by the forces. But that being said, even after the rollback on front of the upper age limit has been ensured by the government, what makes the protesters protest and actually resort to arson is something that needs to be pondered.
Absolutely, and we are getting in these latest visuals as well from Lakhisarai, and we have the first visuals here on Times now coming in of how this particular train has been burnt down as far as these protests are concerned, and not just in Lakhisarai but various parts of the country that we have been getting in these images from, Aditya.
Well, exactly. I mean, we have two different cases from Bihar, at least as far as of now, because one we have in Samastipur, Mohyuddin Nagar, where a train has been set on fire by the protesters, and also in Lakhisarai. So there are two trains being torched incidences in Bihar as of now.
Right, but Aditya, why are we looking at maximum violence that is being reported from Bihar? Because we've seen that in Ara, in Kaimur, in Siwan, in Munger, in Saharsa, in Bhagalpur, in Lakhisarai, in Chhapra also yesterday. Why is Bihar, reporting the maximum cases of violence?
Well, exactly. As far as the preliminary information is concerned, is that if at all you understand how the people work here and what is the actual choice of employment made by most of the people here, forces stand a good ground here, and we have many people who aspire for forces right since their childhood, and they have been preparing for their turn to contest and to compete. But that being said, if at all any change is made to their, you can say, vision of a career future, that actually takes them out of inertia, leading to this protest.
In fact, Aditya, continue to be with us even as we're getting in these latest images of how this agitation began after Centre launched the scheme on Tuesday, which proposes the recruitment of Jawans on a contractual basis for a 4-year period, followed by compulsory retirement for most without gratuity and pension benefits. And that has been the demand of these protesters as well, isn't it, Aditya? Because they are saying that this is certainly, in a way, a disadvantage for all those aspirants who have been working for years and preparing for years to get inducted.
Well, exactly. I mean, this is one single proposition, but the other proposition is that, and this is something very coherent as far as experts are concerned, is that if at all somebody is not happy with one particular vacancy or one particular scheme that allows entry into the forces, why worry about that? Why don't they focus on other channels who actually lead to a better employment with the forces?
And Aditya, as we are getting those pictures of protest and violence being reported, this is a stationary train in Lakhisarai. You can see on that platform where protesters have now set ablaze multiple coaches of that train. But Aditya, the unrest was also reported where many of those BJP officers and leaders were attacked in Nawada and Madhubani.
Well, exactly. I mean, we were the first actually to break this information about how the protesters actually attacked Varisaliganj BJP MLA Aruna Devi, and subsequently also ran the BJP office in Nawada. But then, of course, I mean, the certain things of events and turns of events actually point towards involvement of political hands. And also, that being said, there are political outfits who are actually joining the protesters today, and we have clear inputs of CPI-ML legislators leading the pack in their particular locations, and also even Pappu Yadav will be holding a similar protest in solidarity with the protesting aspirants in Patna also.
Absolutely, and Aditya, even as we are getting in these images, not just from this particular location in Bihar, but various parts of Bihar as well, what have been some of the demands of these students and aspirants as well, if you can take our viewers through that, because some of them have also stated how they have worked hard to get inducted into the armed forces, and how will a service of just 4 years with months of training and leaves really work for them?
Well, exactly. I mean, as far as Bihar and its protests are concerned, it was the students and the aspirants who actually started the protest with a view that they have been cleared off the medical board and they are awaiting their written test to be done. And this is something they have been waiting for quite some time. And what they wanted is that they should be allowed to write their written examinations, and if at all selected, they must proceed with the future prospects. But that being said, this was the first demand that actually triggered unrest in Bihar and subsequent areas. But later on, this agenda was actually changed, and if at all you remember, the earliest protests that were actually reported from Bihar and elsewhere also, they were not that violent, of that magnitude that they have acquired as of now. Because now, full outfits, they are actually joined in, and they are now trying to break bread over this unrest caused due to the Agnipath scheme.
Aditya, we're getting more pictures now. It's of rail roko. People and protesters there, especially the youth there, sitting on the tracks and blocking the roads and the rail tracks there. This morning, if you can tell us exactly in different locations of Bihar where these protests have been reported, this morning in particular.
Well, this morning the protests have been reported in Lakhisarai, in Muzaffarpur. There are movements in Hajipur as well. And that apart, Samastipur and Lakhisarai, of course, we had violent protests leading to arson and also getting the train stopped by the protest.
Absolutely, and continue to be with us, Aditya. Even we have been getting in these violent images from various parts of Bihar, be it Chhapra, Nangloi, Kaimur, Nawada, and several other parts as well. What is the government stating now, the state government there? Are they planning to approach the centre with the same?
Well, exactly. I mean, as far as the state government is concerned, there are two different aspects. One is that of administration and the other one is that of politics. So, the administrative part, Law and Order Sanjay Singh, ADG Law and Order Sanjay Singh actually informed media that, and through the media, he actually suggested the protesters to actually join hands and come up with a memorandum and submit it to the authorities concerned. So as to ensure, get that the demanded action is ensured. But that
all right, remains to be seen exactly now what action will be taken against those protesters there. Because Aditya, thank you. Amid the protest, the centre has already raised the entry age limit to 23 years as a one-time waiver. And now in a mega outreach program, it seems that the centre itself will be taken upon to dispel all of the miscommunication that it seems that has gone out to the youth today who are out on the streets protesting.